The fourth influence that we covered in the Horizon Initiative dealt with global impacts. Now, for generations, chambers have been hearing about the importance of the world market. Probably by now, most chambers know that 95% of the customers for everything in the world are not based in the United States. And so they've thought about it. But a frightening number of chambers in the US are not involved. And it's kind of ironic considering for many chambers that's the way they started, was as trade organizations and organizations to promote international activity. But today, many chambers are disengaged. And you know, when it comes to trade, that might be possible. It might be possible to play a very minimal role on the trade side. But the reality is that global impacts are going to come to you and come to your community. This is not a question, this is a reality. How will the movement of global influences on local economies work? How does that happen? Well, think about a change in the Chinese labor rate and how that could lead to more manufacturing in your community. Think about the access to visas and how that could increase your talent pool or cause it to go away. Think about changes in genetic rules for shipping meat to Europe. All of these things that are worldwide decisions affect farm towns, urban areas, border towns. So it's this changes that are happening around the world and the impact they have being much more local. The example I sometimes use on how close this can come to someone's life in a community deals with the NBA or the NHL having arguments with the players about whether or not they're going to share global revenue with players, and how a conflict over that could lead to the canceling of a season. There are many other examples of where changes come right to your locality. Again, for 40 years, you've seen companies purchased and sold across the world and across borders. But now the fight for direct foreign investment will probably determine whether some communities are successful or not. 45% of new job growth over the last 15 years has been created by growth related to international trade. So it's a big factor. And I believe that the stars over the next 10 years will figure out ways to exploit this opportunity. And the cool thing is for chambers that this is not a cost item. This is not an expense. This is an opportunity, a huge opportunity to make money. All of these programs can be at the very least revenue neutral, anything you do on global, and could in turn actually lead to significant new revenue. I mean, if you're running a port or an airport, have you really exploited the opportunities connected with that as other communities do around the world? Are you using international as a way to connect with your members who may or may not be already trading? Do you use trade shows? Are you using those opportunities to make connections around the world? The most important thing about this is that your members, your companies and your communities will be relying on the chamber to have expertise and relationships that your community, as it puts its best face forward on this international global impact, will be able to manage and grow your organizations and communities because of the connections and the work you do to address global impacts.